welcome back. I'm Di, and today I'm bringing you another Yarnie update. I know it's been a while since I've recorded one of these, but for a while I actually wasn't working on knitting projects or crochet projects or any kind of yarn project at all. I'm not sure what it was. I just kind of lost the interest in doing it for a little while. There was a period of about 3 weeks when I didn't even pick up my needles or hooks or anything. I don't know what it was, but stitching on the projects that I was working on was slow and tedious as well, so maybe that might have had something to do with it. I was working on projects that weren't very, interesting, I guess you could say. I had done all the interesting part already, and I was, working on, monotonous stockinette or whatever. But, yeah, I think I finally got my mojo back, and so I've got an update to film for you. So yeah, let's just get into it. I guess I should start with finished objects, which I'm actually wearing one of my finished objects. So this is the leaf top by Bernat Design Studio. I knit it in Knit Picks Comfy Worsted. I've got my Ravelry up over there in case you wonder why I keep looking over there. But yeah, Knit Picks Comfy Worsted in the color Douglas Fir. And so I'll stand up a little bit so that you can see more detail. It's got this lighting leaf design up here, same on the back. So yeah, I really like this color. The stitch definition is really nice as well. Some modifications I made was that I did make it a little longer. Let me try to back up. So it comes down, I think this would have been here if I had done it per instruction. So that's one of the modifications I made. The other one was that I lengthened the sleeve about 5 rounds before doing the bottoms. This one, per pattern instruction, says to just do these garter stitch edgings right where you separate for the sleeve. So it would be a little bit short. The sleeve would have been here. Didn't want it that short. I like to cover my arm a little bit more, so I made the sleeve a little longer. Other than that, I'm really happy with this. It fits well. The length is good. This is so pretty. And yeah, it's cotton. It's a cotton acrylic mixture, so it's great for summertime, which we're getting to now where I am. Dislike a lot. We are in the 90s, which makes me unhappy. But anyway, that's my first finished object to show you. The next object I finished was what I'm calling my snowflake sweater. Per the pattern, it is called the Nordic Blue sweater, and it looks like this. This is my first yoke color work, and actually my first color work sweater, and I will again move back so that you can see, because there is some more color work at the bottom. So I've got color work up here as well as down here and on the bottom of each sleeve. So I did do this one in Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted in the colors Winter Night, which is this royal blue color, Clarity, which is this powder blue color, Marina, which is this dark teal color, and Wonderland Heather, which is this lighter minty teal color. And white for the snowflakes. So this featured a folded over neckline. So I basically knit the rib twice the length and then folded over and tacked it down on the inside. I did do a twisted rib, but the pattern just calls for regular rib. I like the look of the twisted rib, so that's what I did. On the sleeve, for my size, the chart of this design didn't go all the way around, so I do have a little panel in the middle of the back of the sleeve that's just like plain, because I didn't want to do a partial design, and I think that came out well. Again, twisted rib on the cuffs. Some other modifications I made was that this sweater is constructed from the bottom up. I have not done a bottom up sweater before, so it was really interesting. So I started down here, and had this colorwork section done, and then I worked all the way up to the armpit. So as you can see, there was lots and lots of plain stockinette in the round. It was tedious. But then I put it on a cord and then worked the sleeve. So again, from bottom up, started here and worked to the armpit, then did the other one, then connected both arms, and then continued up towards the neckline. I inadvertently made a pattern modification. I did too many increases in the arm, which is fine because my upper arms are a little bit bigger than a normal person of my size, so having a little bit of extra arm space is great, but when I attached it to the rest of the body, I ended up with the same number of stitches as the size above what I was working. So instead of decreasing to get back down to the size that I had started on, I just left it alone, because having a little bit of extra room up here doesn't bother me. I haven't actually tried the sweater on yet. I don't foresee any problems though. Just by holding it up, it seems to be proportionate, and I don't think I'm going to have any kind of issue. I have not actually soaked this yet, so there's a possibility that it will expand a little bit. I'm not too worried, again, because it is a pullover. I don't mind it being a little bit bigger. I am very scared to soak this though. I am going to go buy some color catchers before I do, because I know this yarn does bleed when you soak it, and I am afraid that the blue is going to stain this snowflake section over here in the middle. So yeah, that's what's been preventing me from actually giving it a nice soak, but I will eventually get it done. Obviously, it's not the time to be wearing this type of thing, so there's plenty of time. But yeah, the other modification I did was this section right here on the top. Per the pattern, it's supposed to be a row of like rosebuds, but I didn't quite like that design, so I just stuck with the design that was down here and duplicated it up here, and I'm very happy with that look. The pattern, I actually borrowed the book from Kindle Unlimited. It's called Hygge Knits. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it. It's Hygge. Knits Nordic and Fair Isle sweaters, scarves, hats, and more to keep you cozy. This sweater is actually not linked to this pattern book on Ravelry. I'm not sure why. The rest of the patterns are, but this particular one is not. And like I said, it was called the Nordic blue sweater. And let me see if I can find the author for you, because of course it didn't show it on my Ravelry project page. The book is by Nikki Trench. So if you have Kindle Unlimited, you can borrow it for free, like I did. I thought the instructions were very clear, and being that it was my first like bottom-up construction type sweater, it wasn't very difficult for me to understand how to like put the sweater together. And yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it looks great. My color work, not too bad. I did end up doing a new technique, which I saw from Katie Green, who's on the Green Bean podcast. I think that's what she's called. When she does color work, she does it inside out, because that's supposed to help with your floats. And so I tried it that way, and I think it really helped me. I tend to be really tight when it comes to doing floats or any type of color work, and I don't see any like gapping really. And I think a soak is going to help quite a bit. But yeah, I'm very happy with this, and I can't wait till it gets a little cooler for me to actually wear this one. So again, that's my snowflake sweater, which is actually from the Nordic blue sweater from the Hygge Knits book. Now on to some works in progress. I've got in my Charlie Brown bag my Christmas socks. Yes, I said Christmas socks. I wanted some Christmas socks to wear this year, so I had seen some videos on helix knitting, and again, I really like to learn new techniques and things like that. So I wanted to give my hand a try at some helix knitting. So I worked up a pair of stripy Christmas socks, and here's my first one. I'm using a cuff from the Socks a la carte book, and I'll give you a closer look at it here. This is the Stand Tall sock cuff pattern from that book, and then I just did a helix knitting of 3 different colored yarns. I am using a pattern called Rainbow by Michaela Richter, and it's a top-down sock design featuring strong heel. So there's no like heel flap or anything like that, no need for short rows. You just increase to 2 times the number of stitches for the heel, and then decrease them to get this little section for your heel. And then I did the a rounded type standard toe, I guess. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. Not sure what it's gonna look like when I wear it though, because when I stretch it, it kind of looks different. I don't know, but they're Christmas socks nonetheless. So I've done one, and then I've started on my second one. So as you can see, I've done the cuff, and I've just put in the first colors. So yeah, I'm hoping to get that one done. Christmas in July and all. But I am using a 9-inch circular, which is different. It does strain my hands a bit, but it's the easiest way for me to get the helix knitting done, since you do have to like change colors mid-row and all of that. I am using 3 colors of Knit Pick Stroll solids. The green is called Everglade Heather, the red Hollyberry, and white. So yeah, I'm really happy with those so far, hoping to have those done for the next Yarnie update, at least for this month, so that I can have a pair of Christmas socks done for Christmas in July. My next work in progress is sitting in my Jack Skellington towel bag my mom made for me, and it is the Alicia sweater by Kim Barnett. This was a free pattern that was released from Classic Elite Yarns a few years ago. I am actually doing something very different with it, but anyway, let me show you where I am up to currently on this one. Since I finished a sweater pattern, I could start another sweater pattern. It's just a rule that I'm trying to keep myself to, because I don't want to have 2 sweater patterns on the needles at the same time. They are larger projects, and I just want to be able to concentrate on one and get that done. I feel like if I only have one, concentration is solely on that one, and then progress gets made. So anyway, I'm only on lovely ribbing right now. Pattern calls for 2.5 inches of broken rib, which is what this is. Not sure if that's focusing, but anyway, it's a knit 1, purl 1 on the first row, and then knit on the second row. So I've got about an inch, maybe a little more. I am using Cascade Heritage in gray. So I'm gonna, this one is done in the round up into the underarms, and then you split for the front and then the back, and then you graft them together, and then you're supposed to do the sleeves separate and then graft that to the body, but I hate grafting things. I'm not very good at it, and I really should practice. But to make my things easier for myself, I am just going to do a top-down construction on the sleeve. So I had done it on my dad's color block sweater. I found a really cool tutorial online. Let me see if I can tell you what tutorial I used. It was from the blog By Gum by Golly for seamless set-in sleeves from the top down. It worked really well for my dad's sweater, so I'm going to use that same tutorial for this sweater. Now, this is what I'm going to be doing with this sweater. For those of you who follow my reading progress on my other videos, you know that I do read anime. I do read manga, and I watch anime. And Haikyuu, which is a story about a boys' high school volleyball team, is very popular in my household right now. We really enjoy that anime and manga, and so I had an idea to do a Haikyuu inspired sweater. There is a pattern out there called the Sock Arms by Stephanie Lotvin, and basically it's for your self-striping sock yarn. you didn't want to make socks out of them, you could use it for the arms of this sweater pattern. And her pattern is a basic sweater body with the striped, self-striping arm design. While I like that idea, I didn't want to have a plain body. I knew that after doing that snowflake sweater, doing rounds and rounds and rounds of plain stockinette was just going to bore me to bits. So I decided on this pattern, which will have a broken rib panel up the front, in the middle, and the back. So that'll help me not be so bored with the construction of the front and back. And then for the arms, I am going to do stripes, 2 colors for each school that the Karasuno boys volleyball team, which is the main team that Haikyuu is done on, has played up into the last team from the 3rd season of the anime. I'm not sure how many volumes that is as far as the series goes, the manga series, but the teams from the anime. I am throwing in one team that they didn't play in a tournament, just because I enjoy that team a lot. But other than that, it's going to have each team. So Karasuno is going to be up here, and then work our way down team to team to team. Now, what that means is that I do have tons of single skeins of Cascade Heritage. For each team, there's 2 colors, and I will be striping myself. So I will have a lot of yarn ends to weave in, but that is okay. It will be a labor of love, I hope. So progress is slow on this. The 4th season of Haikyuu is supposed to come out in September, so I'm hoping to have this sweater done by then. It is a fingering weight sweater, so that means lots of little stitches and lots of stitches to make up the length that I will need. But so far so good. So yeah, that is what I am calling my Clipped Crows Fly Again sweater, and pretty happy with it so far. And I've got one more work in progress to share with you. That project is the Dobbin Wood, which is like a Ruana style wrap by Kay Jones. You know that I am a patron of the Bakery Bears podcast. I really enjoy what they're doing over there, and it's living in my Hawaiian style bag again that my mom made for me. This is being worked in Knit Picks City Tweed DK in the colors Obsidian, Porpoise, and Tahitian Pearl. So this is a huge wrap. So let me see if I can show you where I am. Okay, so this wrap is worked back side first, and then you split for the front 2 panels. So I have already finished the back, which looks like this. Seed stitch design on the bottom, lace panel in the middle. And then now I'm working on the first front panel. Sorry for all the clinking. So I have worked the first front panel. There's an eyelet panel there, and now I've just finished, I think, the stripe section. There'll be another panel of eyelets after that, and then some plain black and then the seed stitch border for the one side. So I am about, I'd say, two-thirds done, probably. Again, it's a really easy design. I did mess up a little bit on the back. That lace panel back here is supposed to have one more repeat of this lace, but I didn't read the instructions correctly, but that's okay. That is okay. It still looks good. I think I did buy enough yarn anyway, because I tend to overbuy because I do get worried, especially when I'm not using the yarn that was used. But in case you were curious, this is the obsidian, this is the porpoise, and this is the Tahitian Pro Color. I am liking the effect of the tweed a lot. I used a little bit of a darker color scheme because I am doing this for my mom. This was supposed to be her birthday present. Her birthday was in April. Obviously, I didn't get it done in time. But I am slowly working my way through it. It is an enjoyable knit. I love this yarn. It's so super soft. I'm definitely going to have to make myself a sweater out of this yarn. It is a wool alpaca blend, I believe. And it's really nice. I've taken it to my knit group to work on several times, and a lot of the ladies there really enjoy this yarn as well. Everybody who touches it is like, oh my gosh, that's so soft, I really like it. But yeah, I'm really happy with this and hope to have this also done for the next time. But yeah, that's all I'm working on so far. So sorry that there's been such a gap between this update and the last one. Like I said, something just didn't make me inspired to knit, and now that it's getting hotter, don't really want to be working on large sweater projects and things like that. But like I said, I'm working on this for my mom, and yeah, another labor of love. But anyway, but yeah, let me know what you guys are currently working on. I hope you're all doing great, and until next time, take care and smile always. Bye.